find out.
Okay, well that's. I'm glad you brought that up because let's get back to that. Now,
Okay.
you and Joe Biden actually have a little bit of a tiff going.
Yeah, we have a little dialogue between myself and his office. So
Yeah, and now you haven't talked to Joe Biden
no,
in
I haven't
person
talked
yet.
to Joe Biden yet.
Okay, but we're hoping. Now, also, I'd also like to point out that Joe Biden, if you're listening, you can call in, and we'll be happy to talk to you right now, right here on My Wicked Garden with the Hippie Conservative and Jered Townsend. So, if you guys, and the number is 1-810. wait for
208
208.
1854. 810-208-1854.
All right, there you go. And if anybody from Biden's office wants to call, one of the Obama people, anybody else wants to call and comment, feel free. Anybody else that wants to get in on this and tell me, why you think the jury shouldn't be allowed to have this, I just want to point something out really quick, too. I just caught this the other day. This is the percentage of nail gun injuries in the hospital emergency rooms in 2005. 42,000 nail gun injuries.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah, I couldn't find the stats. I actually wanted to find the stats to see how many people have ever actually been shot by an AR-15. But I'd be way willing to bet, and I'll bet this microphone and this laptop,
Right.
that it's not even close.
It's funny you said that because I believe on the ATF website there's some statistics forms that you can download for studies they've done in certain areas like the city of Detroit or state of
Absolutely.
Michigan, or different metropolitan areas like that.
Absolutely, and I actually
Sorry.
found. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
It's somewhere around like 1 or 2% of gun crimes committed are committed with some kind of assault weapon, and by assault weapon, that's a very vague term now because there's no ban anymore. But
It sounds like it's feel good legislation. As a matter of fact, when I'm elected to Congress, which is going to happen.
I'll vote for you.
Thank you. That's one. If I can just now talk my mom into it, that'll be two.
There you go.
Just
On your
kidding,
way.
just kidding, Mom, just kidding. But I actually went and looked up on an ATF site the top guns used in crime: Smith & Wesson 38 revolver,
Yep.
Ruger 9mm semi-automatic, Lorson Engineering 3800 semi-automatic, Raven Arms 25 automatic, Mossberg 12 gauge, Smith & Wesson 9mm, Smith & Wesson 357, Brico Arms 9mm, Brico Arms 380, Davis Industries 380. Oddly enough, the AR-15 is not even on the list.
Exactly. It doesn't surprise me in the best.
And there's only a very few of those guns could even be modified to be considered an assault weapon. See, what I'm going to do when I get into Congress, though, is I'm going to introduce the murder weapon ban.
Ban everything on
Well,
there.
honest, Jered, the thing is, let's think about it. Who is for us having murder weapons?
Right.
We need, people, listen, especially liberals, because you love this stuff. We need to have a murder weapon ban. Murder weapons are the reason people get murdered.
Exactly.
So I'm going to outlaw ropes. I'm going to outlaw piano strings, because the mafia, they use them all the time.
Telephone cords.
Telephone
in there,
cords. I'm going to, slowly we're going to
Hammers.
eliminate every single thing until we're finally safe. Then you will be safe.
Naked in a room by yourself, right? Basically.
Yeah, exactly. They can room by yourself.
Can't hurt yourself or anyone else.
This is one point that I love to make is that the word safe almost should be removed from the English language.
Yeah.
Because you are never completely safe. But people always, a meteor could come and hit me and Jered right now. God, I hope that doesn't happen.
The problem with banning this gun is you're just going to take it away from me, who's a law-abiding citizen. And if some criminal has it, they're not going to care if they have it legally or not. It's not going to matter.
Absolutely.
So, I just don't get it. People don't realize that. People think you ban something, it's completely gone. Everything's disintegrated.
Criminals don't obey the law. It's funny.
It's just
it's just so hard to get them to go for that,
Right.
And then, one of the funniest things that I talked to somebody about, and it's very relevant to this. The gun buyback programs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a man in law enforcement. I don't want to, out
That's
the guy,
fine,
but I was talking to a guy in law enforcement here in Flint, and I asked him. We had a buyback program here a couple of years ago, and I asked him. I said, "Did you guys do ballistic checks on all them guns?" And he said, "Well, no, we can't sit and do ballistic checks on all them guns." And I said, "So you destroyed murder weapons, maybe?"
Yep.
And he goes, "Well, and I says, "No, somewhere there's probably some guy, he's like, hey man, whatever happened to that gun you capped that cat with? You wouldn't believe this."
Sold it for a pair of shoes,
Yes. I sold it and got $25 for it,
Exactly.
and then I watched on TV and they ran it over with a bulldozer.
And that's the sad part is these guns are just getting destroyed. You know,
Most
they
of those
still-
guns didn't work anyway.
That's true. That's true. But there's a few that do. You know, they could instead of giving $25 for it and then just throwing it away, they could sell it to somebody legally, put it through the system, make money, and make an income off doing this.
I mean, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and put it in the hands of somebody that actually
But
wants it.
that's contrary to the politics.
Yeah, they
Right.
can't do that because I mean you're just there to do that. You know, you're to be taxed. That's
Yeah.
what you're there for.
Well,
They're just trying. It's all for show, John. They just want to have the TV show with the guy with the bulldozer and everybody applauds and we're all safer, but it never really happens.
crime's down. And
Yeah, right. But the truth of it is, it's the CCWs that actually push crime down. It's been proven in every state.
Exactly.
But let's get back to Joe Biden.
Okay.
Now, I heard you say that when I was talking to you earlier that Joe Biden said he would meet with you.
Well, he didn't say it.
He didn't say it. Okay.
But-
Okay. Yeah. Obviously,
let me-
obviously, because you said earlier you
I
didn't
can
talk
kind
to
of
him.
tell you how it went down that
Okay,
night
great.
of the debates. Once I was on the air on CNN, I turned to my computer and literally it just blew up with messages and comments on my video from YouTube. So I sat doing that a while, and I thought, well, geez, maybe I should call Joe Biden's office and see why he said that, or see if I can get an answer. So I did, and I emailed. I didn't get a response, so I called the next day, talked to a guy who put me in touch with a gentleman by the name of Alan Hoffman, who's the chief of staff for Senator Biden. And I guess Alan and Joe Biden talked and figured that next time Joe Biden came to Michigan, he would meet with me.
And this is what he told you, not
Correct.
Biden. But
That's what
his-
Alan Hoffman told me, correct, yep.
Ah.
So, probably a couple of days later, there was an article in the Politico.com website, and from Joe Biden said that he contacted me, said he would be glad to look me up the next time he was in Michigan. So a little play on words, a little stretch of the
Yes.
imagination.
And
but-
by the way, I checked. He's been in Michigan a couple of
oh,
times.
yes, he
since then.
has, absolutely.
And I take it he has not met
No,
with
he
you yet.
hasn't.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity. I'd like to call out Senator Biden. I mean, this is really, I think, important. I mean, you're a nice young man. We already went over your criminal background. We already lack of criminal background.
Exactly,
Let's be
right.
clear. Your lack of a mental illness. You seem like a nice guy. You've got a CCW,
Yes, I do.
right?
Yep.
And he seems very responsible. I checked out his gun myself, and it's in tip-top shape, absolutely taken good care of. And the entire time he's been in my studio, he's been exceedingly conscious of where he points it. And it's not loaded. It's not loaded at all. He didn't even bring a bullet so we could compare it to. But even despite that, he treats it as well as any gun owner I've ever hunted with or I've ever been out to the range with. And my point is that Joe Biden owes you absolutely, in my astute opinion, he owes you an apology.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely.
I would love nothing more than to look Joe Biden in the face and ask him what he said, why he said what he said, and see if I can get an answer. How do you judge a person by 30 seconds, I guess, is my question.
That's, what, I actually talked to a man today, and he said, well, he probably shouldn't have had a gun. And I said, well, how would you, because he'd seen it. And I said, well, how would you make that determination in 30 seconds? I mean, I said, I've now talked to you. This is a man that I did not know. He was with a friend of mine. And I said, I've now talked to you for about 2 minutes. Do you want me to make decisions on whether or not you should have a gun, whether or not you should drive a car, whether or not you should have children? I mean, is that really the kind of government you want to live in?
Not really.
No.
Teddy Kennedy shouldn't be still driving then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ted Kennedy has killed more people with his car than Jered's killed with his gun. Absolutely, I can prove that. And Jered never named his gun Splash or anything like
No,
that,
no,
like
nothing like
Ted
that.
Kennedy's dog. But I think that absolutely it would do a lot of good, and I would like to take this opportunity to offer, and I've already offered. As a matter of fact, I sent Biden's office a letter. I sent Senator Biden's office a email. I called and I talked to Danielle Bolin, and she took the message and said she would relay it to Senator Biden, telling you that you would be on my show today, and that he was more than welcome to call in. He was more than welcome to, to comment to you right here publicly. Now, the way I look at it, Jered, and I talked to you about this before, is that he admonished you publicly, that he said that you were not sane,
Right.
and I think that's quite the diss. And since he did this publicly, I think that he owes you a public apology.
Sure.
Now, one of the things I've always been baffled about politicians is that they always seem to think that for some reason that's a sign of weakness to apologize. But myself, and I can only speak for myself, I would actually admire Joe Biden if he come back and he said to you, Jered, I am sorry. I was playing to the crowd. I probably shouldn't have done it. I was trying to get the laughs, trying to get the votes. And now meeting you, I understand that I was wrong, that I shouldn't do something like that. Well, now, if Senator Biden did that to you, would you accept his apology?
I would accept it, sure.
And would you feel better about Senator Biden?
I would feel better about it. You know, I don't think, the problem I have is I really don't think it'll ever come because he's not concerned with getting that vote. He's already proven his point where he stands on gun control, you know, and I'm just a little guy in America that, you know, he doesn't want to deal with.
He can marginalize you. That's